look at it from above, and you're going to look down, and you're going to say, okay, well, am I running this thing efficiently and effectively? All right. That's what we're looking at today. So when it comes to the client experience, how many of you guys got to recruit in the last like 2 months a business partner on your team? How many of you guys got at least one on your team? All you guys probably should have. Okay. Let me ask you, did you properly take them through the client experience? Did all of them, how many of them converted to become clients? Anyone? Dr. Rokocha, you have one?
Yeah. I
Okay.
got to I got
Yeah.
to a few days ago.
Okay.
We went through client experience yesterday,
Okay.
but as it's sounding from, from health standpoint, they may not qualify, but
It's
they
fine.
have, yeah, we have decided to, bring people to them, maybe those ones who qualify, because their medical history is wonderful. Let me put it that way. So, but
Uh,
I told them that they have to go through this because this is what informs what they do for other people, irrespective of the fact that they cannot qualify. So we did those two yesterday. Yes, sir.
good good job. Good job. And I know a lot of people have it's tricky, is tough going through this, but I'm gonna help you out. A big part of our business is called internal consumption, right? You guys know this, right? Internal consumption is when your recruit actually converts and gets a policy. They don't always have to get a policy, but I need them, more importantly for me, is I need them to go through the experience. Why? Because if I do it right with them, that means when things get frazzled, Mr. Ken, you heard me talk about this in the boot camp, right? That I did in San Diego. When people are like frazzled or they're in this, their mental state is there's a lot going on, right? Especially in the beginning, that happens, right? Because they're juggling a lot of different things. They're trying to learn the business, they're trying to get licensed, they have family stuff still. So their capacity is not as high. So we have to understand that when it's their turn to do stuff independently, they weren't completely focused on that when they first started because they were trying to figure things out. So they're gonna always, when they get into this to the phase where they're trying to get their new person to get started and get going and train them, they're gonna, and if they're frazzled, they're gonna revert back to their personal experience. Do you follow me on this? Everyone always reverts back to what they personally went through. And if we didn't take them through it correctly, then guess what? They're going to revert back to their experience and they're going to do it incorrectly with the next person.
Yeah.
And then guess what? That cycle, that domino effect continues until next thing you know, you got 30 people on your team and none of them are doing it right. Now you have to go back and revamp everything. So it's easier to not skip steps and do it right from the beginning. And like Dr. Wakochi said, I don't force anyone to be a client. Let me just show you this, guys. I don't force anyone to be a client, but I have to take you through this process because I need you to understand what we're doing for clients. You guys see this? Um, very, very, very basic. Let me do this real quick. So when it comes to your process, remember how efficient and how effective is your process. We're pulling you out of the mix and we're going to look at it from the top down. So that way you can see everything. And if your process through running it, like if you're running it and you're not getting those results, or what happens if you don't take them through it the right way, then it's a lot harder to train them on the back end because they don't ever understand our process. So if you're, how many of you guys have people that are kind of reluctant to get into the field, reluctant to introduce you to people, reluctant to invite? How many of you guys have people like that on your team? They're not doing anything, right? We have to go back and understand, like, what did you take them through? Did they go through the process the right way? To the point where I don't even move forward with them until they complete that first process. You get it? I don't care if they're licensed or not. I'm not even gonna, you can come all the trainings and platform stuff you want, but we got to finish your client experience before we move to the next part of me training you. Spending my one-on-one time. And let's be honest, most of your time here should be spent training people one-on-one. You leverage the group stuff, but your time where you're going to be the most efficient and effective is one-on-one. Okay. Everyone that I've trained one-on-one gets results. The people that I don't train one-on-one that just show up to the group stuff, it's a lot harder to get results. Can we agree with that, guys? All right, cool. Abby, Mr. Tijani,
Yeah. Thank you, Zach.
no problem.
Yes, yes. I got three business partners last month. I took two of them through the a client experience.
Yes, sir.
But for the third person, we because I actually got signed up on the last day of August. So, but we couldn't go through the client experience. We have another appointment for this coming Sunday. While we were at it, son woke up and was disturbing. I looked at it that she wouldn't be able to concentrate. So I asked her for an adjournment. That's what I did.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. How'd that work out?
Yeah, she still signed up, but
Mhm.
we were not able to go through, the client experience, like I said. So,
Yeah.
issue of um, putting on a policy and all that, was actually, postponed to a further date.
Okay. That's fine.
Yes.
And that's totally fine. As long as you're going through it. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And think about it like this, guys. I always say this, and this is what it means. I always say you have to have structure, a checklist. That's structure. But you can't be so structured, meaning that you got to know how to navigate within the framework that's given. Makes sense? So sometimes I'm going to recruit someone first. I might code them first before I do their client experience. Ideally, I take them through the client experience so they understand what they're doing, and then I code them. But either way, I'm going to make sure I get both of those things checked off first. You guys see this? So that's what I mean by you have to have structure, but you can't be so structured. If you're too structured, you can't move. All right. So great job, Mr. Tajani. Awesome job. So again, we're
Thank
gonna
you.
and the idea is like how do we expedite how do we condense time frames, expedite your process, get the results you need to faster. All right. Now, when I say faster, you have to understand you're building something, you're building a company. So it's gonna be in layers. You have to do this first thing right. And then that person that you took through that first part of the process, they get it. That means they're gonna do it right with the person that comes behind them. And then they're gonna do it right with the person that comes behind them and so forth and so forth. But you have to make sure you're doing it right. So I know today is supposed to be client experience, which is what we're focused on because we need to increase one internal consumption, which means that every business partner you bring in has to go through it in their first 7 days. And I don't care if and obviously sometimes there's the one-offs where they can't do it because of their schedule. I get it. But they have to go through that process in the first 7 days before I move to the next thing. So let me show you this and then kind of share with you how like this client experience begins. All right. Um, so you guys know basically this is what I what we're going to be training you guys on is I want you to think about it like this. There's Zap, which is accountability and action. There's the producing agent platform, which is theory and understanding. Both are necessary. But what's also necessary is you have a new recruit, Dr. Rokocha. What do you do with that person when you're working with them one on one? Because remember, I said most of your time, your most efficient time is going to be working with someone one on one, right? But you have to also figure out who you need to work with one on one. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. You guys follow me here? So it starts with the client experience. So an outline. This is kind of what I show people right when they say they want to get the business going. There's obviously like some sort of orientation, and then I hop on with them and I show them what I'm about to show you now. There's only 8 slides in this thing, and it's what to expect. It's literally a checklist of what needs to happen. The first thing is complete client experience. Right? Why? Becoming a client is number first. Completing a personal financial review, PFR, and financial needs analysis must be done prior to me taking you into the field. Remember, I'm not just there to get sales. I'm not just there to close clients. I want to build independent leaders. So that means I need them to understand this process. What they're going to learn, and it's not in here, but what they need to know is this. One, you write this down. This is important. And I need you guys to absorb it afterwards because you got to be saying this to people. They don't understand why they need to do it. A lot of them are mentally coming in like, oh, I want to make money, but they have to understand our process. All right. So one of the reasons why I need to take you through the client experience is so that way you understand the power of what we do to help families. The best way to start is by looking at your own situation. That's one. You guys get that? Write that down. Pretty important to mention. Could we agree? Pretty important to mention. And as I say this, I want you to think about if you were brand new and I'm talking to you, I'm going to put your mind at ease, which makes it easier for me to take you through that process. So that's one. Secondly, the reason why I need to take you through the client experience is because I want you to understand what we're doing for clients, how that process works, because you're going to be doing this for the rest of your career. That's two. You guys got that part? All right. All right. I'm trying to go slow. So you know how I do it. I blast through things, but I'm trying to go slow so you guys can write it down. All right. Three. The third reason why I do it is because in order for me to train you on the offerings that we have, the products, how that process works on the back end, again, the best way to learn that process is by me taking you through it personally because you pay more attention when it's your numbers, not someone else's.
Can you repeat, please, sir?
Oh, Amanda.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Number three, right, Amanda?
Yes.
Okay. So I need to take you through the process because some of the products that we offer, because they're brand new, they don't know what we do. Makes sense. They heard one BPM, you get it, or Fireside, and then that's all they know. So they don't know much. So think about it. What is their initial thought when they come into the business? Like, I need to learn this stuff. Is that what they think? That's what you guys thought, right? I need to learn a lot. I don't know anything about this. I need to catch up. That's what people are thinking. Let me address that face head on. I'm gonna face to face. I need to address that concern and say, hey, listen, a lot of like the way I'm gonna train you on products is gonna be by taking you through this process, right? Because the products that the companies offer that we work with and the strategies that we put in place for clients, the best way for us to get you to understand that is for you to personally experience it. Because the reality is, most of the people you know are financially typically in the same situation as you. So on my end, I need to understand what kind of market I'm dealing with too. I don't need to dive deep into a IUL and a partnership agreement, for example, or a executive bonus. I'll need to dive into that when someone is in a term LB market. They need to know term LBs, but I need to take them through that whole process so that way they're an expert. By the time I'm done, I want them to be an expert at whatever their market is going to demand in the beginning to get them results. You see this? So you have to filter down what you're going to be spending time on training them on. And you guys know, you guys have been around long enough. There are some markets that they're not going to do IULs. Can we agree? They can't afford it, and that's fine. We're here to
Correct.
protect them. We're not here to get paid all the time. We're here to protect them first and foremost. Money's the byproduct, right? And then some markets, right? Some markets, hey, you know what? They are the executive bonuses because you're dealing with a business owner and that's all they have, and that's fine too. So I'm gonna guess what I'm gonna focus on with. I'm not gonna focus on Terminal B necessarily. I'm gonna talk about it, but my focus is going to be on the uh, uh, the executive bonuses. But I also need to make sure they understand the framework of closing, which is what we're going to get to also. So that's a part of it. You guys get it? So Amanda, did you get that third one?
Yes, sir.
All right. How many of you guys wrote all those down?
Yes.
So that's a must that you say to people as a part of the process in the beginning. That's why it's right here. When you look at this, this is a trainer's manual essentially when you're working one-on-one to duplicate. All right. It tells you exactly what you need to do and it's in order. All right. So that's the first thing. I take them through the client experience. And then I say, you see right here, get coded. All right. Get coded. Here's the link. You just put your code number at the end and then they have it. All right. So they know how to do this process. And remember, Amanda, anything I take you through, I need you to duplicate with the person coming behind you. All right. So the way I like to, you guys, we're going to shift your mentality. And I want you to think about it from this perspective. You need to duplicate yourself out of a role. So you don't move on from one phase until you know for sure someone else could do that phase for you. Does that make sense? So I'm creating this habit early when I'm working with someone brand new, meaning that I'm going to tell Amanda, as I get through this slide deck with you, I'm going to expect you to take people that come in behind you through this first one that I'm taking you through. So after I get done with this, we're going to do it with you. And then for the rest of your career, you're going to have a copy of this and you're going to do it with other people. You guys get it? So client experience, get coded. Then I need them to enroll in licensing, purchase the books, list generation. So all of this happens in the same swing. You see that? So that's why I said this is a checklist. There's structure, but you can't be so structured. That's it, guys. This is the first 7 days right here. When are they going to get a copy of that? I need them to keep a copy of. I need them to get a copy of the personal financial review. And this is just what it's going to look like. And I give them access to that. I need them to get coded. And this is what it's going to look like when they get there. I need them to sign up for pre-licensing. And the links are right here. This is what it looks like. I'm going to sign them up. And I need them to purchase some of these books. You guys got it? What we're also doing is we're going to start the process of their list. So that process starts right here. All right. You guys got it? That's it. So if you think about it, this is my first sit down with you, pretty much one of my first meetings with you, one-on-one to get you going. And you now have a clear idea of what needs to happen next. Is that too much to focus on? What are the main things here? If we get, I'll tell you, it's go through the client experience, get signed up for licensing and schedule your test, and go buy the books. I didn't say read the books, just purchase them. So by the time you pass your test, they're already here. That's the main focus. That's all I have them focused on. You guys see this? I also need to have them go to, I'm going to send them to a BPM just so they can kind of get an idea. And the reason, why do you think I'm sending them to a BPM early? Why do you guys think? I want to hear your feedback. See if you guys are with me this morning.
Learning how to present.
Yes, but not yes and no. You're right. That's one of them.
To have the experience of what we do.
Yes and no. That's not what I'm looking for. What else?
For
So
them
they
to
can
see
learn
you
the
present.
Say again?
For them to see you present.
Yes and no.
So
It's
they
deep.
can learn to invite other people to the BPA.
Yes and no. It's deeper, guys. I want you to put your builder's hat on. Your builder's hat on, and I want you to think it from a building perspective. Yes, you guys are not wrong, but there's one big one that most people never.
From the
Go ahead.
BPN, they're going to learn to see the product, the different products and how they work.
All right, good. All right, I'm just gonna give it to you. You ready? Listen, it's important. I need to start building the right habits in someone. I know they're not going to be paying attention, but I need them to understand. I need them to start coming to Saturdays. If they can't sacrifice, they can't understand that kind of schedule, then let's be honest, it's kind of hard for people to win here, right? Like, how many people do you see winning that don't show up till Saturdays? They don't show up on Saturdays. Very few. Very, very, very few. Actually, I'm probably safe saying, like, I don't know any people that win here that don't show up on Saturdays. You see that? So you want to start the process correctly and start embedding the right behaviors and habits in your newest agent. So that's why you invite them to a BPM. At what point, you think about it like this, at what point then are you going to start that process with them? It usually, if you don't do it in the beginning, it usually never really happens. Can we agree? It's pretty tricky. So that's why you're doing it. All right. Now, why is that important? If I have Irene and I already did that meeting with you and you know that you're going through the client experience, right? Remember, you only saw one meeting so far. You only saw one presentation so far, right? It registered, it sunk in a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of gray area. That's anybody, okay? I know Irene's super sharp. She probably caught it, but she's still new. So not everything's sunk in. I'm going to take you through the client experience and explain to you why we're doing that process. So ideally, you get it done. Let's say it's what, Wednesday today. I'm going to say, Irene, I need this done by tomorrow. It'll take you 5 minutes. But for me to move to the next step and show you the next part of the process, which is how we put the strategy together, I need this back by tomorrow. You see that? So I want that back by Thursday. She sends it back to me. I'm going to make sure, all right, Irene, as we go through this, ideally, I'm going to get it and I'm going to walk her through the F&A process. She doesn't have access yet to it, but she can see me do it. So she can see the next step. Because what am I trying to do? Remember, I'm training her to be independent of me. So I need her familiar with it when it's her turn. Because she's going to go back. Remember, everything's crazy. There's a lot of things going on in life. She's going to revert back to her experience. And I need her to remember that part of the experience. You guys see that? I'm not saying she has to be an expert at it, but she has to know that, okay, cool. I kind of remember, vaguely remember, okay, I gotta take him through this part now. So as she's going through that process, she's now focused on like her situation or a client experience. So now if I send her back to a presentation the second time, she is starting to sink in a lot more. So I'm able to get her to move faster moving forward in our process. You get it? Her understanding, her learning happens a lot faster now because it's more applicable because it's fresh in her mind. And she's, remember, you are where your attention is. So if her attention is on that, then it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to train her on the back end in the upcoming weeks than if I don't send her through that process. It's also easier for me to make her a client because she's starting to see it from a different perspective of how powerful this is. So it's about leverage. You're leveraging these things that are in place to help you move faster. Is this making sense to you guys?
Yes.
Very much so, yes.
Are you guys, is this something you guys are already doing?
Part and partly
Right.
not. Yeah.
Okay. You see why I had
Partially.
yeah. Go ahead, Victor. You were gonna say something?
Oh,
Nah, it's just that, depends on every
I would much rather know early what their answers are. You see why to also take them through that process? Because if they can't spend 5 minutes to get back to me with something, I'm not going to spend any more time putting a strategy together, hoping and they're just going to be on the back burner. Make sense? But I'd rather know early because remember, everything's a filter and a funnel. So if you're filtering correctly up front with the way we have you guys break down your list, in a funnel, you guys all seen a funnel, right? It starts off big, so you capture everything, and then narrows down, so you only get like a concentrated focus. This whole process is a funnel. Every piece of the process is a funnel. I need to only be in front of the people that are going to give me the results. So everything is designed to where I could filter down and funnel, so I'm in front of the right people, so I'm efficient with my time. Part of that process, Victor, is what you just said. I'd rather know early and know where they stand because the answer is still a no answer is still an answer. Make sense? So I'd rather know early than draw it out and keep my hopes up. Like just let me know early. And then I know what category to put them in. They're on my follow-up list, they're on the back burner list. We'll put them on the side for now. Does that make sense? A good point. But Victor, to answer your other question, I see you guys' hands up. To answer your other question, that's what we're covering today. So you can see like why we need to chunk this down for you guys. Victor, most people are victims of this, right? Not Victor, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but Victor, you're a victim. Since the victim part is this, there's too much training, guys. You know too much. We need to chunk it down and say, all right, what's the one thing I need you to focus on today? Is this first part of the process. That's it. That's all I want you to focus on is just that part. The client experience, or go back and take people through it the right way. Make sure you have your ducks in a row. You understand that process, and that's all you're doing. I'll go back to every one of my agents and I'll say, hey, I'm going to start you from scratch because I need to teach you how to really scale this thing correctly. And that's what I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through that first part. Let's get you back through the client experience, but let me explain to you how you're going to do it for other people. So they're looking at it from a different lens. All right. So, all right, cool. I see Beltha, then Adamola, and then Abdallah. And then Trudy, I saw you had your hand up for a second. Sorry. That way. And if you're because we're talking about recruits. If I'm just talking about a client, then guess what? Sometimes the question is, what was the value proposition before we got to that point of me asking, of my ask? Yeah, I know that if I create enough value for you, then you're willing to go through my process. All right. Now, not being in the right market is a real thing. Now, but I want you to think about it this way. You usually recruit people like you. Make sense? You don't recruit who you want. This is not a knock or anything about that, but I'm just saying, like, you don't recruit who you want, you recruit who you are. Make sense? Client-wise, your clients are usually a reflection of you and your identity and everything else. That's a different training, but we have, and Beltha, you're starting to understand it because you're growing. If you weren't growing, then that would be your market. Because you're growing, you're starting now maybe noticing like, man, these are the wrong people. Shoot, right? And I went through that process too, and it's fine. All of us are struggling with something like that, but you have to understand, is nothing is not you. And in that part of that process, Belta, I want to know early if I'm wasting my time with that person. Again, it goes back to what I told Victor. I want to know early how much time and energy do I invest in this person, whether that's a client or a recruit. And like I said in the video earlier, like um, what they said, the most priceless thing is like time or something. That's what something like that, right? You guys caught it. It's so true. I do not like to waste my time. Make sense? And I would rather know early. So great point, Belta. We'll work on that as we go through this. All right. So we'll work on that process. Adamola, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, Honorable Zach. I mean, you're dropping some real fire nuggets, like Dr. Knapp said. And one thing I've understood from the trainings we've been getting is we're trying to build an empire here. And if we're trying to build an empire, we have to be professionals, not salespeople. And I think that's the challenge that a lot of us might be having because we're just trying to put food on the table. But we have to think about it for the long haul of it. If you went to a Charles Schwab, you give them all the information you need because why? You brought that value proposition that you just mentioned. So I believe it's the expectation that we set. And that's one thing that I've been trying to refine very well. My first experience with a client is me setting the expectation, the tone, letting them understand what this journey, what this process is going to look like. So they know upfront. And anyone who's going to waste my time, trust me, I don't waste time with them. So if I'm trying to build an empire, I need to be professional from start. So I don't have to wait till I start making big money before I become a professional. If I am not a professional while I'm not making money now, then what business do I want to duplicate? I can't duplicate a business that's going to last. And I think that's the challenge and that's the message you're giving to us. So I think that's what people need to understand, that we're professionals and the way we work is by using literacy to kind of like, build the empire we want, not trying to just get people to get products. No, that's not it. The person will get, and that's fine. But we're looking for the people that are ready to work with us. And that's what I tell people. I say, you know what? I don't even know if you'll be the right fit to work with me, but this is my process. And if you're ready to go through my process, then we can work together. End of story. So set the expectation from the very first meeting. That's what I do.
Absolutely. Thanks, Adamola. Write this down, guys. Competence breeds confidence. In any dynamic situation, relationship, the more confident person always wins. So the question is, how competent are you? I'm not calling you incompetent, but I'm saying how competent are you when it comes to mastering this business? I was talking about this last night. There's a $75 trillion wealth transfer that we're in the beginning stages of. 75 trillion moving hands in the next 5 to 10 years. You guys are positioned perfectly to take full advantage of this thing. But I need you to understand your role. And there's also some areas that you have to tighten up. You have to intentionally and strategically increase your competence in areas that need to be increased. If it's products, then go reread the books, go talk to the providers, go do your part. Make sense? So you could position yourself to be ready for this wealth transfer. By the way, that what is going to happen, whether you like it or not. The question is going to be, how much of that 75 trillion are you going to get? That's the question. That's the only question. So some of you guys are already on track. I want you to think about analogy. An example I'll use is this. You guys have all seen a fishing net, right? And the fishing net is made up of a bunch of little squares. You guys see that? And if I were to say each independent agent that you have on your team is a square in that fishing net. And let's say the biggest school of fish you've ever seen is the school of fish, the size that could retire you and change your family for generations, is coming by, is swimming by. Some of you guys have one square on your net. How many fish are you going to capture?
0, maybe.
Right? If you understand what we're doing, that's why I said you guys are perfectly positioned, but you don't have time to just sit and think. You have to act. You have to move. You got to get a bigger net. so you can catch as many of those fish as possible when they come. You guys get it? So the urgency, the reason why Doc and I are doing what we do every day, and just because you don't see me doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm on the back end doing stuff that you could probably you'll see now. We are in a state of urgency, almost an emergency, right, to make sure everyone's equipped to prepare for this wealth transfer. You guys see that? Because I want to make sure we have, and you have, a big net to catch everything that comes by. You guys see that? So we have to start thinking further ahead, guys. We got to start thinking way further ahead. Real quick, because I know we're already over our time, at least the time I had allocated. So, Dr. Rokocha, you'll be the last one, but go ahead, Abdallah. Boot camp 2 weeks ago in San Diego. I capped it at 50 people. All right, that's it. So I'm going to be doing it probably every other month, in-person, live boot camp, 50 people cap. So all you guys will have an opportunity to come. The intent is basically you come, you learn everything that it takes to leave there and be self-sufficient and know how to duplicate and be independent from A to Z. So it's based off the one-on-one training that you need to be doing, which as if you've gone through it, if you've seen it, everything folds into each other. So it folds into Zap and it folds into the Producing Agent platform. This is just, all right, now you have a blueprint of what to do one-on-one. I recruit Irene. I knew exactly what to do with her. You guys see that? Step by step. And so we chunked it down, condensed it into bite-sized pieces that's duplicatable. That's really all we did. You guys see that? So that's what we're going to be doing. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm doing it strategically because I realize anything over 50 people is hard to train. All right, especially with the level that I'm trying to get them to, because it's pretty in depth. All right, it's not complicated, but it's in depth. So it's geared for new people essentially. But if you've been around, then it's almost like a reset on the right things. So I'll keep you guys posted on the next one. We're doing out in San Diego, so it'll be a good weekend. All right. So cool. All right, Judy, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Zach. So my question was, for the client experience, you did mention we do the client experience, the licensing, we send them the code and then register for the Excel and then also the list. So I want to believe this is not in one sitting for the whole process.
No, this is so let me show you again. What you're looking at here, Trudy, is this is my first meeting with you right when you say you want to come on board. You come to a BPM, you say, all right, yeah, I want to do this business. Then I'm showing you this, like in the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm sitting down, going through this, so that way you know what to expect. We're going to start here, client experience, get you coded. I can do that in the same day. Make sense? I could also sign you up for the test in the same day. So it could be done in one sitting because it's not that much information.
Okay.
By the way, this slide deck is designed for you to get through it with them in 20 to 30 minutes. It's not inundated. I want you to think about the behavior that we are. You know why a lot of people leave or don't do anything? I'll be honest with you. Is because of the amount of time and how much information you're giving them in the beginning, they feel like they can't commit the time to do this thing. So it's not that they don't get it, is that the way we communicate it to them, they feel like I don't have time for this is my schedule. It's too much. Chunk it down. Guys, keep it simple. Keep it very simple. Just focus on what needs to happen next, not all the extra stuff. They don't need to know about the comp plan and all that stuff yet. They just want to, hey, what do you need to focus on? Well, this gets you through this client experience so you understand what it is. This gets you coded, and let's get you squared away with this licensing test. Make sure we set it. Go ahead. In the meantime, buy these books. You're not going to read them yet. You see how I'm working with their schedule now? It doesn't feel like a lot. All right. And then I'm setting, there's deadlines to these things. So everything on there's deadlines. All right. So does that make sense, Trudy?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Dr. Wakocha.
Sir, thank you so much. Thank you is not enough for what you, Dr. Kwende, and the whole village, Dr. Nabs, are prepping us to doing. And I'm speaking for myself, the message is working really for me. And I tested it out these 5 days in New York, tuning it down, making sure you don't overwhelm them with information dissemination, and making them to perceive my professionality in the sense that, hey, this is you. You want to do business? This is you. This is the next step. I get them, coded, and then I get them scheduled. This is the third step. We will have it tomorrow, the FNA, and I go through it. Some people, like Mr. Damola said, and I want to encourage us, and sometimes I fight even with my own platform, my base. I don't want to sound desperate. I am not an insurance agent. I've never been, will not be. But I'm out there to use that tool to helping people. But it has to be under and with my own style of professional deliverance. So, and I give them the value why. One doctor on Sunday had so tormented me and I left him. So when I was doing the in-person, he showed up at the end of it. He said, I apologize. Can you please walk me through to understanding? So I knew that it was lack of understanding from the old self. That was his problem.
Oh, Dr. Okocha, you got muted somehow. Sorry. I'm not sure what happened.
By the time I took him one-on-one, I excused the person who brought me to speak to that forum. So it was me and him. He was going through everything. Guess what? This doctor stood in my presence, filled this form that has not been even touched since a year. He said, now I get it. So what I'm trying to tell this platform, we have to lead by example. It may be a bit stressful or whatever you call it. The patience is a virtue. When we apply it and they see the value you are bringing, like the doctor saw, he did not only feel, I was thinking if somebody's going to maybe be doing something like 500 or so.
Yeah.
Dr.
Okocha, I don't mean to cut you off, but we're about to shut down the room here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so his children, his wife, and everybody, and he recommended other doctors to come hear me. So what I'm saying is that we need to be patient, not sound desperate, and bring the value to the people. Even that handicap will be overcome. That's
Absolutely.
the message to all of us. Thank you very much. I may have taken time, but it's working for me, and I appreciate you people.
Thank you, Dr. Okocha. All right, so you guys, real quick, I want to keep these. So starting next week, you kind of got a taste of the direction we're going. You guys see this, which is why I wanted to make sure I hop on today, so you guys start to understand the flow.